Hey folks, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO, and I happen to be able to snag Miss Pam Luco, which is, I'm excited about this because unlike so many people, we don't get to interview women very often. So to be able to interview a successful woman in network marketing is exciting to me, especially in a company that's out of the box like Lyoness is. So Pam, what brought you to Lyoness?
What brought me to Lyoness was my good friend, Jerry Kirstein.
I love that man.
I know you love that man.
He's got my haircut.
He does. So does Hubert Friedel.
Isn't that cool? I'm in good company, I tell you.
Say, there's something going on here.
There we go.
Jerry introduced me to Lyoness. And it just came at a good time. Jerry and I had been friends about 18 years. We'd met through another company, as most people do. Jerry and Rick Walrab and I had met there. We'd had great success there, been part of the executive team, and you know, life changes, life happens. There's seasons up and down, and he caught me in a really interesting season. And so he said, hey, do you have 20 minutes to take a look at something? I said, I do. And so I grabbed my teenage son at the time, and we took a look at something. And he said, the first thing he said was, can this be for real? And I think that's what most people say. Most people say, oh my gosh, can this be for real?
I would agree with that.
And then you know what your mom always taught you. If it sounds too good to be true, it must be too good to be true. So then sometimes pull that paper bag over their head and go, oh, the brakes go on, I'm not going to look any further. It must be too good to be true.
That's true.
But I kind of have a curious mind. So I grabbed him and I said, I don't know, let's look again. So we watched it again. We watched it again, and he said, well, like my friends and I could do this. Not a debit card, it's not a credit card, my friends and I could do this, right? And I said, I think so. I mean, it sounds that simple. Let's watch it again. Well, he didn't want to watch it again, right? I wanted to watch it again. So he took off and I watched it again. And that third time when I watched it, I just had this stirring in my chest. It was like, oh my goodness. The timing of this, with it being new to North America,
Sure.
but yet having the backing of an 8-year-old company. They were European, so I needed to take a look at that. But they were a company that had been around for almost a decade, but new here. And I just kept hearing inside my head that this was going to give people a hope. This was going to give people a hope back in a time where they'd lost their hope, they've lost their job, they've lost their income, they've lost their home. Sure. I just kept hearing this is going to give people a hope back. Why would anybody not do this? Even if World War III happens, people are still going to buy shoes, they're still going to buy groceries, they're still going to buy gas. So you move it through the system and everybody wins. So then my next question was, who gets left holding the bag? Right?
That's true, yep.
Because we've all been in things where somebody gets left holding the bag. They say, okay, great, it worked out really great for you, but it didn't work out so great for me.
That's right.
And that always makes me feel really icky, and I don't like that. So we made a call. We did a 3-way to Rick Walrab and said, I said, who gets left holding the bag? And Rick says, Pam, I've been looking for trapdoors and dead bodies for 3 weeks. I haven't found any. I said, great, okay, I'm going to pray about this over the weekend. I'm going to call you back on Monday morning. And by Monday morning, I was in. It just made sense. It just made sense. I could not see why I wouldn't do it. Okay,
so you didn't need it, but it came at the right time in your life. You were interested in it. Share a little bit about your background outside of network marketing.
Well, it actually came at a time, remember I said there's seasons up and down. It did come in a season where I did need it.
Okay.
I was in a season where I was actually on staff at my church. I had a nutrition business that I was running. I had 2 teenagers. I still have 2 teenagers. One just split it off here. And a granddaughter that I was spending a lot of time with. But I knew it was a new season. I knew it was a time to do something new and something different. And I love network marketing. I can't imagine doing anything else. If I didn't do anything else, it would be network marketing.
Sure.
Because it's the one thing that's a level playing field for everybody.
Right.
You know, anybody can, whether you're a college degree or no college degree, whether you have a specialization or not, everybody with the desire and the determination can make it in this if they choose to. So I love network marketing for that.
Well, I think network marketing is great, and you do not look old enough to have a granddaughter, by the way.
Oh, yes, sir.
So it's like, wow. You know, so the nutrition business was definitely good on you, you know. What excites you today about Lyoness?
Wow. We're sitting here at a, can I say we're sitting here at a workshop? We're sitting here at a workshop. And this is my 2-year anniversary. I joined Lyoness 2 years ago this month. When we started, We had to take our money, we had to walk it down to the bank, we had to fill out a deposit slip, we had to then get a copy of the deposit slip, fax a receipt of it over to home office.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, who's got a fax machine anymore? Who's got a copy machine at the bank? Who wants to really go to the bank? I mean, I had people driving 50 miles to go to the bank today, and we had no tools. We had no tools. We had nothing to duplicate with. We did not have a website to send people to. We had nothing. But we had excitement. We had enthusiasm, and we knew that this is going to be the largest company in the world. And so with it, we kept trudging forward. But here, fast forward 2 years later, we have tools, we have videos, we have websites, we have Zipmark, we have all these things. We have you. We have people like you as a proponent so that we don't have to toot our own horn.
Right.
Because let's face it, there's been a lot of mudslinging out there on the blog sites, not necessarily by you, but lots of bloggers.
No, I've slung some, I know.
I know, just a little. I'd let you admit that. I didn't want to admit that.
I will admit it, you know.
But Lionesses, they're very different, I think, with it being European, where they'll let the mud be flung, but they aren't going to fling any mud back. Right. And as Americans, we would get really upset and stand up and say, why aren't you going to stand up for yourself? Sling some mud back, throw that back, and they just would not. And they knew that the dust would settle. But what's great is now that people are doing their research, now that people have pulled the bags off their heads, pulled the brakes off and said, I'm curious, let me look a little further. And when you look a little further, I mean, we know that the truth always comes out.
Absolutely.
It always surfaces. It's just a matter of time. And the timing's always just at the right time. It's never late, it's never early, it's always right on time. So now that we have folks like you who are out there and you're watchdogging and you're curious and you're checking us out and you're checking other companies out, you can edify us now, which is so much better than Lioness tooting their own horn, because they don't like to do that. They don't.
Yeah.
You've met Hubert Friedel.
I have.
He's very low key. He's not going to toot his own horn. He's not going to fly in here on a red carpet first class.
No, he didn't do that either.
He doesn't do that. No. So,
But it's interesting, Pam, because they're very quiet. They don't talk. They don't even talk about their foundation or anything like that. They anticipate that people will find that. And in the 21st century, people find the critical stuff long before they find the positive stuff. And usually when they do find the positive stuff, it was produced by the company, so they think it's propaganda. And which is one of the reasons we're doing the videos, is because I believe it's you guys. He may be the heart, but you're the heartbeat that really does make this company go. And unlike so many companies that maybe come from Europe or Hong Kong or anywhere else, when I see the quality of networkers, now I've met a lot of quality people that have never been in networking, but when I see the names of you that have been out there, that have been successful, that are very conservative, it does make me realize there's more under the hood. We've got to find out what they see that I'm not seeing on the internet, you know, and that's the exciting thing. Now, you bring something up. Jerry called you, which means that relationship, that trust that you have was what opened the door. How much due diligence did you have to end up doing to make yourself feel comfortable, even praying? I mean, I'm a praying person.
Yes.
But even then, that flesh will pop up and say, what if? What all did you go through?
I didn't go through a lot.
Jerry did a good job.
You know Jerry.
I do.
Jerry does an amazing job of turning over every stone twice. Not once does he say. I mean, Silvio Spangle will always say there are two sides to every stone. Whenever a story comes up, even one of your stories came up, and he says, Pam, there are two sides to every stone. Yes, there are two sides to every stone. But Jerry Kirstein, he turns those stones over twice, and he'll find all the neighboring stones and check those out. So I knew Jerry had shared with me all that he had found out, and I know what he does, and he's so thorough. I mean, even we were all going to kill him just over a darn telephone, because he had researched the darn telephone for 2 months before he bought it. We're just buy the darn phone.
Funny.
Stop talking about it. That, and I knew Rick had done a tremendous amount of research. So between those two, and between my CEO, I just knew, I knew that this was something I was supposed to do, and this was something I was supposed to play big at. I was not supposed to poke a stick at it. I was supposed to play big, and so I did. I jumped right in, found my 5 people right away I wanted to link arms with, and things really moved quickly for me.
Well, it has, because in 2 years, you are on the presidential team. You are kind of moving.
Right below.
Well, right below,
Level
but
6.
close enough
But
that you're going.
That's it. I'm qualifying for level 8. I'm in qualification for level 8. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Every day.
Now, what, I mean, most people want to gripe and complain, oh, I didn't make it, it's too hard, da-da-da. There's critical information out there. But, and I don't want this to sound bad, but you're like a little pit bull. I mean, you went for it.
I did. I just put my head down because I knew that, you know, all the naysayers out there will always be naysayers out there.
Sure.
And those naysayers are not going to pay my mortgage. Those naysayers are not going to pay for my kids' college. That's on me. And so I've got to make a decision. If I make a decision, then I make a decision and I move forward. And I kind of am like a horse with blinders on. I just keep going no matter what people are saying. Were there naysayers that brought things up? And as my team is growing exponentially, do I get emails and texts? Check out this blog site. Check out that blog site. Oh my gosh, you know, like somebody with their hair on fire. Yeah. And do I do my due diligence and check those out? Absolutely. Because I would be a fool if I didn't communicate with my team and say, yes, I've checked it out. Here's what I found. But there's a certain... I've spent a lot of time with Hubert. I've spent a lot of time with Mario, like you. I spent a lot of time with the VIP team and the members that are coming in. When my accountant can come in, when attorneys are coming in, when you've got people of such high caliber that normally don't take a look at network marketing at all. I mean,
sure.
We met with somebody who's a multi-millionaire the other day with somebody from my team, and he said, normally I will never look at these things.
Wow.
But because of the respect and credibility that I have for this person, I decided to take a look at it. And when I peeked under the hood, I couldn't stop looking. This thing is amazing. I've got to take another look. So you're right. The caliber of people that have come in, and I think the clincher for me, honestly, was going and helping to open up the first school in Honduras.
I've seen that video.
Oh, my word. I spent the day crying, but I think what was so powerful to me was, like you said, there are companies that will kind of throw money at some charity organizations and say, and which is good. I mean, everybody needs help, right? It takes a whole world to make this thing move. But a lot of companies will help a country once they've made money from that country. And they'll make money from that country, and then they'll say, oh, whoops, we made a lot of money, maybe we better give some back. Well, the thing about Honduras, we're not even in Honduras.
You're not there.
We have made no money from that country. But Hubert, being the person that he is, he saw a need. He saw the huge need for that, for what we have as far as education and food. And so he says yes, and build a school, and provide a bus, and provide breakfast, and provide lunch, and give them shoes, and give them socks, and give them a knapsack full of all the things they need, because he knows you educate this generation, and this generation is going to change the next, the next,
Absolutely.
the next. So that was the clincher for me, was the fact that we are making no money from some of these places, and Hubert, it doesn't matter. He's going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Wow.
And there aren't many people that you can partner with that do that. Or when you peer behind the curtain and you see, you know, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when they'd peer behind the curtain, they go, well, he's not the wizard. You know, and sometimes when you get to the top and you pull the curtain back on who the players are, and you pull that curtain back and you go, oh my gosh, they weren't who I thought they were.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's devastating, right? Well, you can pull the curtain back with confidence because they're even greater than they show on stage, because like you've seen, they're very humble people.
Oh, they are, and I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah.
You know, so when I'm going in with a preconceived idea that these are going to be a bunch of cold, manipulative Austrians,
Right.
you know, and it's like I get in there and it's like totally wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, and totally open. Every question I've ever asked, they haven't tried to create an answer.
No.
I mean, you can tell that some of their answers, I'd have to ask more questions because I didn't understand it, but it wasn't choreographed or, you know, instrument, anything like. They were just straightforward. But let's fast forward a couple years, because that's where you're at right now. You are successful. How big is your organization now, and what are your leaders doing?
My organization, I have a little over 15,000 members in my in my shopping community.
In 2 years?
Yeah, in
Oh my
2
gosh.
years. I've personally enrolled 12 people. And those 12
Wow.
people have enrolled 100 people. And those 100 people have enrolled over 15,000 people.
That's amazing.
It's super exciting. Super exciting.
How many countries?
Wow, we are in so many countries I can't even count. Each week when it shows the shopping, there's over $1 million that shop through my organization a month, every month, just in my little organization. And every week when it breaks down the shopping, there's Filipino pesos, there's British pounds, there's euros, there's francs, there's all kinds of different currencies that Lioness transfers right into US dollars at no charge to me, and puts it in my bank account every week.
That is awesome.
It is
If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to try to get a hold of you to learn more about Lioness?
Sure, absolutely. You could email me at pamluco1, so it's PAMLEWKO, the number 1, at gmail.com. Or you could Facebook me, and that's Pam Northy Luco, so a little more complicated. Pam Northy, Northey, Luco, Lewko.
That's fantastic. What's some parting words you can give people?
Wow, some parting words I would give people is take a look at this with really open eyes and open ears. And it's okay to trust. This is a time in life where you can be part of the biggest company in the world. And never before have I ever seen anything like this, because you know what? Nothing happens until shopping happens, and shopping happens every day. Whether you're shopping for gas, whether you're shopping for groceries, whether you're shopping for a plane ticket, it's always going on. So dive in, the water's warm, and we're looking for you.
You know, that's the one thing that I've taken from every interview we've done today, is that everybody says, do it with open eyes. So Lioness and even the field leaders are not pretending that they're out of the box. They're out of the box. It's a little different, and you've got to take your time to be open-eyed, be trusting, listen to the people that might present it to you. That's the key. That's what we're having to do. We're still looking. We're still investigating. We're still trying to understand. You're going to do the same thing, but talk to the pros that are in the business, because that's what's working for us. Live life like it's an epic adventure. Stay dangerous, stay strong, and if you're in network marketing, act like it.